Hello, brothers and sisters of color. My name is Terrence Stephen Lake, aka Bubble. I'm the author of this book, God's Child. I wrote this book in 1975. I had it published through Vantage Press, and I was under contract for 2 years, and Vantage terminated my contract. But they violated my contract several times, so I started a lawsuit. And while I was suing Vantage, a class action lawsuit contacted my lawyer and told me it'd be advisable for me to join the class action lawsuit. More clout, larger number. So I joined the class action lawsuit, and for 25 years we fought against Vantage Press. And we won, and I got my money back from the deal, a little bit more, but I would have gotten more back if I had sued on my own. Now, in the book, I talk about extraterrestrials. Now, back in the 70s, I was ahead of my time. When I was talking about extraterrestrials, people were saying that I was crazy. I didn't know what I was talking about. And one of my friends' mother said, oh, he wrote some book and put a bunch of rocks on the cover, and he's calling himself God's Child. Well, those rocks are big rocks. Earth is one of them. And I'd like to explain the cover of my book and explain a little bit about the extraterrestrials that I talk about in the book, on how we were put on planet Earth to create a heavenly environment. But we started out in other solar systems, and we got advanced, and we came in contact with each other, and we had religious differences, and we started having universal wars. And by us being so advanced technologically, we were ready to destroy the world, the universe, over our differences. But we drawed a truce, and we decided to put a tribe of each group on planet Earth. Now, this is the part where I want to explain the cover of my book and then bring in the narrative of how we got to planet Earth. Now, this is an original 30 by 40 picture of the cover of my book. And this is planet Earth right here. Now, this is the moon, this little white ball you see right here. Now the planet right here, it's way off in the distance, but it looked like it's smaller than the Earth but bigger than the moon, but that's an optical illusion. That's Uranus. Now this planet here, this is Mars. They call it the angry red planet. This planet here is Saturn. This planet here is Venus. And this is our sun. Now this is part of our solar system. We have 8 planets revolving around the sun in our solar system. Now Earth, it takes us 365 days to go around the sun. Okay? We complete one revolution around the sun, that's 1 year, 365 days. Each turn that we rotate is called a day. So 365 days we end up back here. Now Venus takes 260 something days to go around the sun. So in 200 and some days, Venus will end back here at this spot, their starting spot, 260 something days. Now Saturn takes around 25 years to go around the sun. So we pass Saturn several times, in fact 25 times, before Saturn comes back to this spot. Now Mars Mars takes 600 and something days to go around the sun. So when we go around the sun in 365 days, at that 365 days, Mars is over here on the other side of the sun. That's why we only see Mars every other year. Now the moon travels around planet Earth, and it takes the moon 28 days to go around the Earth. But when the moon goes around the Earth, we only see the one side of the moon. So as it goes around us, we see the same surface. Okay? So in 28 days, we're over here. The moon has made one complete revolution around planet Earth. And in another 28 days, you know, that same process happens until 1 year. And that's approximately 12 times that the moon has gone around the Earth. That's why they say every month the moon goes around the Earth, but it's a little less than a month. Okay, now Uranus, I don't recall exactly how many years it takes Uranus to go around the sun, but you could look that up if you're that curious. Now back in 1973, when this picture was printed, and I'm the designer of it, I had an artist paint it up for me, there was a comet called Kohoutek, this little star that it looks like you see, came into our solar system. And it was a Japanese astronomer that first spotted it, and his name was Kohoutek. So if you are an astronomer and you're the first one to spot a comet, it will be named after you. So they call this comet Kohoutek. Okay, now Kohoutek was supposed to come between us and the moon, or thereabouts, and it was supposed to have been the size of about the fifth of the moon. But it turned out to be a dud because it didn't come as close as we thought that it would. But it took almost a year to get through our solar system. Now, as we know that these are galaxies. This cluster of stars you see, that's the galaxies. Galaxies. The whole universe has galaxies. Now we're in a galaxy, and our galaxy is called the Milky Way galaxy. And the Milky Way galaxy takes, it's about 4 billion stars in our galaxy, the Milky Way galaxy. And all these other galaxies got billions of stars to make up their galaxy. So the universe is nothing but galaxies, nothing but stars. And every star that you see at night is a sun. Our sun is a star. Now, we came from another solar system. And on planet Earth, you can see different artifacts that were put on Earth, that were constructed, that we don't have the technology today to figure out how it was constructed. But we know we came from somewhere to planet Earth. Now, the blacks were the first group that came to planet Earth because in Africa, the blacks have the oldest history on the planet. And if you're a space-bearing nation, when you're traveling in space and you're going to another solar system, you're looking for a planet like Earth that has water and land, and you're looking for an equator area where it would probably be the most tropical area, and Africa is that place. When we came to planet Earth, that's where we landed, in Africa. Now, our history is the oldest history on planet Earth. Now, the next tribe that came to planet Earth was our Mongol brothers and sisters. And in China, they have the second oldest society on planet Earth. And the third group to come to planet Earth was our East Indian brothers and sisters. Their history proves it also. And then the fourth tribe to come and be put on planet Earth was our Hispanic brothers and sisters. They came fourth. Now our Caucasian brothers and sisters were the last group to come to planet Earth. Now, when our Caucasian brothers and sisters came to Earth, they knew they came from another planet. And they tried to land in Africa, but there were too many Africans in Africa. So they ended up landing in Europe. And they built up their tribes, and then they started exploring planet Earth to find a better region than Europe. And they knew the north, the east, the south, and the west, but they wanted to come to the south in a warmer climate, which was Africa. So when they came to Africa, some of them, they learned how to sort of live in harmony with the African brothers and sisters, but somehow they just didn't get along, and some whites tried to take the land in Africa. But as you know, history, there was a tribe, and the chief was called Shaka Zulu, or not Shaka Zulu, that was Hannibal, that ran the whites out of Africa, and then Hannibal went into Europe and was the first foreign country to defeat a European nation. Well, later on, when the Europeans got stronger and they developed a gun, they came back into Africa and tried to take Africa again. Well, they didn't take Africa, but they did take South Africa. And they stayed in South Africa for a while. But then, I'll get into history, later, but this is how the history formed on planet Earth. Now, today on planet Earth, almost every country have spotted UFOs. And UFOs are usually controlled by ETs, extraterrestrials. And the extraterrestrials that put us on planet Earth were our descendants, going way back, our cousins, you can say. And when they put us on Earth, they left, because you see no remnants of their space vehicles, but you do see the remnants of their technology, like the pyramids, which we still can't explain today how it was constructed, or pyramids all around the planet, that has been constructed by a very highly advanced society, So looking at Earth, there is a history. Now, our Caucasian brothers and sisters, while they were trying to get a better portion of the land on planet Earth, they wrote a book called the Bible. And when they wrote that book, in the beginning, the first chapter called Genesis, it said that God created men and women, plural, and put them on Earth. And when they were put on Earth, they had their history, and developed history. Now, the history of our Caucasian brothers and sisters, they said that in the Bible, God created men and women and put them on the earth. And then later in Genesis, they wrote about Adam and Eve. Now, Adam and Eve had two sons, Cain and Abel. And Cain slew Abel. And after Cain left and went to another tribe on the planet to start a family, because I guess he felt that his mother and father was abhorred on the fact that he killed his brother. But then Adam and Eve had more children. So this is how we know of extraterrestrials, because we were put on planet Earth at different times. Now, our Caucasian brother, when they were coming to Africa visiting with different tribes, they got in touch with a tribe called the Dogons. Now the Dogons believe that the Africans came from the constellation Orion, and from a star system Sirius, and that's where they say that they came from to planet Earth. Now our Caucasian brothers hasn't come up with a star system where they came from, but we do know for a fact they're looking for that planet, because they've got telescopes and spending trillions of dollars in exploration in outer space, and their technology is getting so good with these telescopes that they're able to spot other planets in other solar systems. But we're trying to find the closest planet in another solar system that is close to our sun. Now, I could get more and more into how we got here, but the fact is that we are here. And we were put on planet Earth to learn how to live in harmony with each other. And we are so close to fulfilling that mission. Even though we know that some people are trying to say that we were all created from Adam and Eve. Well, that's not true, because that's our Caucasian brothers and sisters' theory. Africans had a theory of our existence through the Dogons. Our Chinese brothers and sisters, they had their theory of how Yuan Di was the first emperor and ruled China in the beginning stage, and he was probably an extraterrestrial. And in India, they have their history of how they came to planet Earth. And then you have our Hispanic brothers and sisters. They've got their theory of how they came from another solar system. So there are a lot of theories how we got here, but the fact is we know that we are here. And we must learn how to live in harmony with each other, because we're not going to leave our solar system and go into another solar system and deal with extraterrestrials that are hundreds of thousands of years more advanced than we are. We can't go and try to dictate to them and try to tell them how to live like we're trying to tell each other how to live on planet Earth. The best thing we can do is learn how to live in harmony, create this heavenly environment on Earth that we should be doing, the reason why we're here, and then we can go into space in a peaceful way, and we would learn a lot of our history from our extraterrestrial brothers and sisters. Now, the biggest difference, and I'm sort of getting off track a little bit, but the biggest difference between God and man is God can create something out of nothing. Man always needs something to create something. Now, we are like our Creator. We're very creative. Look at planet Earth and all of the inventions and the cities and things that we've invented, and the television and the video, and you just name it. It goes on and on and on. But it took lots of people in order to bring these inventions to fruition. Just like the Empire State Building. It took thousands of people to put that together. So there's more than enough room on planet Earth for us all. You can take all the people on planet Earth and put them in the state of Texas. And if you don't believe me, Google it, and Google will tell you. But it's just showing you that there's more than enough room for all of us, but we've got to learn how to live in harmony with each other. Now, I would love for everyone to buy my book and read it, because I get in depth on the philosophy of how we got to Earth and our history of what we've done on Earth up until today. And then I philosophically say that we're basically came together and we created this heaven on earth, and we started traveling out throughout the universe, and we met up with our extraterrestrial brothers and sisters, and it was just a heavenly experience. But with that said, I think I've extended the length of time that I wanted to talk about extraterrestrials, just to give you an idea the reason why we call extraterrestrials. They're terrestrial people coming from another solar system to another solar system. They're traveling out of our solar system to our solar system. And I think some people say if you went and lived on Mars right here, that you would be an extraterrestrial because you left Earth, which is a body of land, and you went to another body of land outside of your atmosphere, which Mars is out of our atmosphere. But the biggest difference, like I said, between God and man is God can take nothing and make something. Man always needs something to make something. And the biggest difference between humans is our thinking, because our body parts are basically all the same. They could take my parts and put it in someone else and give them longevity. It's just something that we were blessed with, being God's children, that we weren't apes or fish or elephants, where we would be dependent upon our own survival and having something greater than us that we would fear, that we wouldn't be able to have that survival. We can tame the world and help every species, but every species can't help us. So that's why I say we're God's children, and it's up to us to bring order to planet Earth. But first we got to start with ourselves, and we've got to create this heavenly environment. Now, drawing this to a conclusion, and there's a song called 10 Zillion Light Years Away by Stevie Wonder, and I'd like to sing a bit of it. They say that heaven is 10 zillion light years away, and just the pure in heart will walk the righteous street someday. They say that heaven is 10 zillion light years away. But if there is a God, we need him now. Where is your God? He lives inside of me. And I said it's taken him so long, 'cause we got so far to come. Tell me, people, why can't they say that hate's 10 zillion light years away? Why can't the light of good shines God love in every neighborhood? Why must my color black make me a lesser man? I thought this world were made for every man. He loves us all. That's what my God tell me. And I said it's taken him so long, 'cause we got so far to come. Okay, I hope you've gotten something out of this discussion and my trying to explain extraterrestrials and the validity of their existence, and not that we were all created on planet Earth through Adam and Eve. That is not so. Just read your Bible and start from the beginning, and it says God created men and women, plural, and put them on the planet Earth. So that will end this discussion, and I'm quite sure in the near future I'll put out another video, because I know I'm going to get some response from friends and associates on Facebook, because this is where I want this video to go. And you know, it's very necessary that we come together and recognize that title of my book, God's Child. That's everybody's title. Now, I also have my newest book, which is just a republished edition of God's Child. And I have my picture on the back and a bio. Now, here's a picture of me back in 1975 when I had the book published. And now you see a picture of me at the age of 72 years old, actually 71 when this picture was taken, but next month I'll be 73. And I haven't shaven because I've been under the pandemic and quarantined to the surroundings of my home, and haven't been to a barber shop and gotten a haircut since, when was it? March, when we were quarantined. But eventually I'm going to step out and get that haircut and shave this beard. I just wanted to try something different. But anyway, I'd like to thank you for your time and your patience, and I need your support to purchase a copy of this book so you'll see where I'm coming from. And I'm going to utilize that money to do a motion picture based on the book that I wrote, that I can show us what a heaven on earth would be like, and we would have that blueprint, and then we wouldn't have any problems, because our problems would be solved with a heavenly environment on earth. And once again, thank you and good evening.